Well, good morning. It being 9 a.m., I'm going to officially call to order the Capital Project Overview Committee meeting. And I will look for a motion to accept the minutes of the meeting on February 24th, please. Second. Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving right on quickly to new business. I'm sorry, I skipped a line here. Mr. Pfaff, please enlighten us on the legislative parking garage and where we plan on putting in the party room for Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, my name is Terry Poff. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the General Court of New Hampshire. I'm here for the parking garage briefing. You can see the artist image. I'm sure some of you have seen that before, but that's what it's going to end up looking like. You see the panels that it's going to be created out of. This is a pre-stressed garage, pre-stressed concrete garage. And we went down several times to Pittsfield, Massachusetts, to a company called Unistress. It was the one that was contracted to build the parts for this. And so they have been authorized, they've been reviewed and authorized with the architects, with the all of our consultants and the team and the Public Works Division of DAS. And that's all been chosen, and you're going to have some examples of the panels sitting on site shortly, actually, probably this week. And we're going to, you're going to see a lot of activity coming up now. You've seen foundations over there. I've got a schedule I'll be sending out shortly. The actual panels that are constructed down there and being constructed right now down in Pittsfield, Mass. are going to be up here. It's going to be starting to be erected either the last week of July, the first 3 weeks of August, and it's going to fly up. I mean, you're going to see from what it is now with the ramps and the walls to a complete garage within 3 or 4 weeks. It won't be functional until March 17th of 2026. That's when we're going to take possession and get our occupancy permits, and it'll be functional at that point. March 17th is the goal for 2026. That's when we can start parking it again. So it's just a few months away, really. It's on schedule. We've done our due diligence at every juncture. We have weekly meetings over there on site. We review everything, and of course the engineering is very important, especially what's happening with the forensic hospital issue up there. So we've been extra due diligence on making sure the engineering is correct and all the things line up, because you don't want that thing not stacking up correctly. So it's behind schedule from the original schedule, but it's on schedule, and we're making up some time as we come in. Most of you know the total parking space is 409 parking places in that garage. It's going to be a secure facility. It's going to be have security cameras all through it and on the exterior of it. We're adding a repeater so that all of our communications work very well throughout the campus. And really, and we're going to get the full maintenance schedule when it's complete, because one of the problems with parking garages and buildings in the past has been that we haven't had a crafted maintenance plan and schedule from the beginning, and we're doing that in anything that the general court's involved with moving forward. So with that, I'll answer any questions, concerns, thoughts, particular questions about it.
Any questions or concerns? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What are they digging up this street over here for?
There's vaults in there for the connections for the drainage. We have oil and water separators that go in there, and then you're going to have some another vault that has to be put in there right outside the exit of the basement of the LOB parking garage. So that's going to be closed for a little bit, and you're going to come in and out from the Park Street side. But that's going to be 3-day operation, and that street will be done. But you're going to have rolling closures of Capitol Street, because when those 12 to 15 tractor trailers come in, and it's pretty neat because the panels are pretty long, and they come in with the road guys in the front and the back. But when they drop off their panels, the tractor trailers shrink back up again to a smaller size, and then they split. So it's pretty neat to watch. And they're going to try to bring them up directly what they need each day. But they do have a storage place down in South Concord for storing the others. But that's what it's been dug up for.
Thank you. Terry, we had some conversation before about the issues about it being a secure facility, so the charging
station companies didn't want to put it in there because the public wouldn't have access. And I mentioned that you might talk to Mayor Champlin about dedicating some of the spaces on the street for curbside
Yeah.
car
Yeah.
charging, and I didn't know if you had. any
No, we had,
conversation.
I haven't seen the mayor yet. I've talked to the deputy, the city administrator. And we're gonna, I meet regularly with the deputy administrator, the city administrator and the mayor. And we're at the next meetings when I'm bringing it up, and that's not till probably into July, beginning of August.
I mean, it seems to me not only would it serve legislators, but it's also this, since there's a shortage of charging for.
Yeah, they come into ours. We opened that garage, you know, the one that you use now over
Yeah.
at the boiler plant. We opened that up for the general public
Yeah.
because we needed to, because what we did, instead of purchasing that, we were gonna purchase those and put them in for legislators only. But that's too expensive and it didn't make any sense anyway. And there's no real infrastructure for electric cars, as you know, in our state really. And so what we did was have the company itself. We provided the conduits and the electricity to the point, and then they reimburse us for every bit of electricity that's used for those, and they charge you guys directly that are charging. So that's what's happening. But we did not plan, we planned for a pad and we planned for the infrastructure within the garage to be able to accommodate it at a future time if it's desired by future policymakers. But right now, there's no charging. It's not the responsibility of general corporate charging. It'd be nice and all that stuff, but you're gonna have to do that on the outside of the garage.
Thank you.
Yeah, Senator.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Terry, thank you for the update. Wonderful work, progress coming. You've had a lot of setbacks, but staying on schedule. As I was driving in, though, I must ask, could you have gotten a taller crane to take a tree out? I thought for sure you were taking the top off the.
No, they asked if I could
Capitol
take the
Dome.
machine gun off the top of the arch while we had the crane there, but I said, no, thank you, not right now. But yeah, that's Accurate Trees doing our work for that, and that's one of the bigger cranes you've seen for tree removal, but we also it has to clear the arch. We wanted to make sure it was big enough, and that they did their means and methods. We just hired them to do it. But the tree is gonna be gone by the time the day's done today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Sure thing. I'll see you after the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, sir. My name is Jace Worth. I'm the general manager at Franconia Notch State Park in Cannon Mountain Ski Area. We seek your approval on $754,000 worth of maintenance capital investments. It's part of our continuing push to address deferred maintenance across the mountain. There are essentially four major categories, tranches that we cover in this request. This request was recommended by Cannon Mountain Advisory Commission in our meeting on February 28th. First is general facilities repairs to our lodges, including to much of the exterior envelope that is in various states of disrepair. Our doors, windows, siding. There's another tranche relating to lift maintenance updates, including a bull wheel bearing for Tuckerbrook lift and a haul rope replacement of our Zoomer lift that services our front 5 terrain. Next is our tranche for snowmaking improvements. That includes 2 pipe projects. That's a 6-inch steel pipe replacement on Rock Garden and Gremlin trails. These are some of the primary trails on our lower mountain. As well as PLC, what's called a programmable logic controller update to our pump system. This allows us to more accurately keep track of our water, our power usage, and more. It's going to allow us to save a little bit of money on that. And then lastly is some equipment purchases that are fleet related. So a snowcat shoplift for our maintenance garage. Overhead doors to our maintenance garage are currently in disrepair right now. And then tire beating and tire balance machine. Presently, we, between heavy equipment and small vehicles, our single automotive mechanic services over 20 vehicles, but as a registered shop for the state, He oversees maintenance for well over 50 vehicles on an annual basis. And I believe these items will make it the job more efficient for him. So with that, welcome any questions or concerns you have.
Any questions? Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Danielle Chandonnet. I'm the Director of Finance.
Hey, good morning. I'm Shelley Winters. I'm the Director of the Division of Aeronautics, Rail, and Transit. And we're happy to entertain any questions. If you'd like us to present the two items, we're also happy to do that at wish of the chair.
So the first item, both of these items are items that we come to this committee for approval on a biennium basis. The first item is for SPR Transportation Planning, the use of Turnpike toll credits for that program. That program pays for the development of the 10-year plan and also for the RPCs on an annual or biannual basis. What you see there is a biannual amount.
It also supports our GIS section. We do some asset management and performance management within the department, so it helps to support our GIS section within our planning office. So as Director Chandonnet said, we come here every 2 years for the regional planning commissions to do planning at a regional level that rolls up to a statewide planning effort through the STIP and the 10-year plan process.
Thank you. Any questions? Senator McConkey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hear GIS, I believe, in your conversation just a moment ago. Is there coordination between the state college and, or do your department, and I know other departments are doing module work, their own silo work. Is your work being coordinated back with the Granite data?
Yes, I believe that the people in our GIS section do work with Granite to the extent. I'm unsure, but we can certainly follow back up. But I know this request includes roadway and bridge inventory requirements that we're required to report on annually to the federal government. So
Yeah, no, thank you for that. I just want to make sure that your data is a layer that can be seen and viewed off of Granite. And if it can't, just get back to me later. Thank you.
yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other further questions? Yes, Senator Lang.
Actually, it's for Kenny over there. So I'm trying to remember what we did in the budget for regional planning officers, because I noticed some of this has to deal with the regional planning officers and whether or not there'll be an intersection of what we did in the budget and what they're requesting.
The regional planning officers had asked for $110,000, and we did not include that in the budget.
I guess the question for the agency is, does that have any impact in your request? The fact that in the biennium budget, we didn't approve funds that was requested by the regional offices, planning office.
It won't have an impact on the regular program. So the regular program is funded through federal funds, which was already funded. So the additional need, yes, that would have an impact on them, but on the program that we're running, it would not.
This is to match contracts that went through Governor and Council last week, and it was pending the approval of the toll credit. So it's for the regional planning commission, such as Central New Hampshire Regional Planning Commission, National Regional Planning Commission, as Director said, with the federal funds, and these toll credits would help them leverage those.
Thank you.
Representative Weiler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. How long does it take to accumulate these toll credits?
Several years. Let me give
I
you.
don't think we've used them for several years.
So we typically earn, so in '24, we earned about 68 million in credits. We use about 58 in '24, so it will take a period of time for us to earn those credits.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Move to approve item CAP 25007.
Motion's been made by Senator Lang. Who seconded it? Oh, I'm sorry. Seconded by Representative Weiler. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to CAP 25010, another approval for $2,405,000 of toll credits to meet funding match requirements.
So this request is again another one that we come before you on a biennium basis to help fund some work on the next 2 to 3 year horizon. We own 7 state bus terminals statewide. 2 of those you may be familiar with. We went through a P3 process. So now we're down to essentially 5 bus terminals that we are responsible for maintaining while they're in pristine shape, and the public is appreciative of that. They are starting to show age, and we need to make sure that we're keeping up with the expectation of those amenities for the traveling public. We have the federal funds available, but we have no other source of match to leverage those down. So the first item is seeking toll credits to help make improvements to the state-owned bus terminals, many of those which would be through a contract that would go through Governor and Council for Boston Express, which is the state's commuter bus service. The next request is for, again, regional mobility management. This is a request that's been before this committee probably the last 5 or 6 biennia. So we have a statewide mobility manager that we contract for, and we have 8 regional mobility managers throughout the state that help to go out and try to create efficiencies with coordinating transportation services, raising local matching funds, helping citizens understand how to utilize transportation services, help to recruit volunteer drivers to create regional transportation networks. That's item 2. Item 3 is an update to a statewide transit assessment. We last did this in 2018 pre-pandemic, so we're looking to update this to look at what the future of the transportation network, their transit network in New Hampshire should be, as well as also considering looking at maybe some pay for parking studies, or looking at what the future of commuter or intercity bus in the state should be. So we're looking to, we haven't been before this committee for several years for a planning update. And the last one is intercity bus expansion. We receive and have several or enough federal funds to start a new intercity bus service. The 2018 study yielded that Keene was sort of a transit desert and needed to have some connections to southern New Hampshire and or Boston. We are only able to leverage those funds from the feds at a 50-50 rate. So we're seeking toll credits to match that to allow a pilot project for about 3 years to try to get a transit service propped up to connect Keene or to either Nashua or Concord. So we would plan to do a RFP in the next 6 to 8 months and hopefully start that service next July.
Any questions or concerns? Senator Lang.
So I'm interested in this intercity transit program. So it looks like we're just adding Keene for 4 years for a total of $1.8 million is the estimated.
Yes.
Do you have any idea or any plan, how much of that is outright subsidy? The system doesn't pay for itself, so therefore we have to provide, this to cover that.
Yeah, that's a good question. So the way the Federal Transit Administration works is that 50-50 participation ratio is on the net cost. So total operating costs, you deduct any fares that are realized, and then the 1.8 million figure here is what the subsidy would be for that period of time. Really, no transit agencies are going to turn a profit. If they were, the private sector would already be doing them.
Any further questions? Senator McConkey, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Could you provide me with some numbers in a month's time? This isn't a crunch. I'd like to see what the ridership is on that Concord to Littleton, Berlin, and Conway. And then if you could also report on how the we have a small bus line that's running Conway, I think to Wolfboro in that area, probably on demand or something. If you could give me an update where we are with numbers on that too, please.
Yeah, absolutely. We have those in the office.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or concerns? Seeing none.
So tagging on to Senator McConkey's, because he's got a great idea there. Can we just see the over time, what the ridership's gonna look like? So it's not just last year's numbers, but some sort of graphing or charting. so we can show
Yeah,
what that looks
we
like.
keep it from pre-pandemic because we continue to use that as a baseline or a barometer. So we would have, Senator McConkey's talking about Carroll County Transit is the one that operates in the Ossipee area. So that's a public transit service. So we'll provide that. And then, the routes that Concord Coach provides to the North Country, we'll have those as well. So we'll give you a landscape probably from 2019 to present, and I'll get them to Mr. Shea to distribute.
Any other questions or concerns?
Move to approve CAP 25010.
Motion has been made by Senator Lang and seconded by Representative Weiler. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Still continuing with new business, and this is not in our agendas. Small oversight. I'd like to recognize Mr. Shea to brief us on a new item.
So good morning, Chris Shea from the LBA. So your last item that you have is the quarterly report of all the capital projects that are ongoing throughout the state. In there, you'll see the community college system is listed on in an aggregate format. The capital budget, last biennium had asked for a more detailed report from the community college system. They had provided me with that in an email earlier, and I totally overlooked it for this meeting. They are here. They could speak to how the process is going with their projects right now. And again, I apologize for messing that up.
So let me
We'll
get
get
this
to
straight.
that.
This is mostly informational. It's not anything.
It's all informational, not actionable.
It's all informational. We have the other package, I might as well bring it up, is CAP 25006, is the report from the Department of Administrative Services.
That's correct. And again, the information in aggregate is in there for the community college system, but the capital budget had required that they provide more detail on the specifics that they're spending their critical maintenance and their IT upgrade
So,
on.
so somewhere in this spreadsheet is the community college.
Is the
figures.
aggregate number for them, but they have the detail. So if you would like to hear from them, they're here. If not, we'll make sure you get the quarterly report as a late item from our office.
Does anybody want to hear from the community colleges?
Much as I like Ms. Reed, if they could just provide the detail that Mr. Shea was talking about, I think that'd be more than enough.
Sounds good to me.
I think that if they want to talk, we ought to at least hear from them since they did show up.
It's kind of like going to the dentist. I don't think they really want to talk, but if you would like to, please, you're welcome to step up. Give us a briefing. It's,
Okay,
it's.
good.
Thank you, Senator Gray. That concludes our business for today, other than setting the date and meeting of the next meeting. And we are looking at
September 29th.
September 29th at 9 a.m. That's, we're not going to meet July and August, and that gives everybody, once they hit the ground running, coming back in September, 3 weeks to get us this information. Do we have any problems with that? No? All right, September 29th at 9 a.m. it is. And,
Mr. Chair, just one other thing. Representative Erf wasn't here today for the meeting, but he had a request that at the next meeting, which it sounds like is going to be September 29th, to have HHS come in and talk about the projects that they have related to the closed loop referral system. So our office will
was that
contact them.
HHS or was that DOT? It
HHS.
was HHS.
Yep, yep.
Okay. Senator Waters.
Thank you. Chris, I wonder whether, since we are depending upon the sale of the Sununu Center in the second, potentially in the second year of the budget, could we get some reports and updates as we move on in these meetings as to where that project is, so that we can have some sense of whether it's realistic to anticipate we'll actually be able to sell it in fiscal year 27?
Yep, you certainly can. And what we can do is reach out to administrative services who would be in charge of making that sale and conducting that sale, and just ask for them to provide us a status update.
Good. Thank you.
Any other business or concerns? I'm going to Recognize Senator Lang for the final motion.
Move to adjourn.
Motion's been made and seconded by Representative Weiler. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are done. Thank you very much.